Today I am talking about the Hunger Games trilogy. That was good, that was the first take and everything. I'm not gonna be spoiling any plots or anything. If you are like me, you probably know pretty much the plot of the Hunger Games, the first one anyway, what with the movie coming out and everything, which I haven't seen yet. It's now out on DVD, so I don't have any excuse other than the fact that I'm a cheapskate. But I will see it at some point, and I would very much like to compare it to the book. If you've somehow managed to miss like everything that's been going on about the Hunger Games, it's set really far in the future in an America that is nothing like the one we know today. It's split into the capital and 12 districts, numbered District 1 to District 12. And as a general rule, from District 1 to District 12, the poorer the district is. So the story focuses on a girl named Katniss who lives in District 12, caring for her younger sister and her mum. And the Hunger Games are an annual event for the capital in which a girl and a boy between 12 and 18 are chosen from each district and put in an arena and have to fight to the death. And Katniss volunteers for the Hunger Games after her sister gets picked, and that is where things go from bad to worse, essentially. Now, I read the Hunger Games fairly quickly because it really is one of those books that once you start reading, you just have to know what happens next, because it's such a fast-paced book. There's no lull where you can think, okay, I'll stop reading for a bit. It just keeps going and going and going. But in fact, once I'd finished the Hunger Games, I thought it was so good. I couldn't believe that Catching Fire or Mockingjay would be better, because I really don't like it when in a series the first book is the best. That book can be really good and you can want to read it, but then when you read the rest of the series it's kind of disappointing, and so I really didn't want to read Catching Fire because I felt that the Hunger Games was such a good book that it was bound to be disappointing, and it really wasn't. It really is a better book, and Mockingjay is better, and it's like the perfect series in that each book is better than the last and does not leave you disappointed at all. Because then once I started Catching Fire, I think I started it like in the afternoon, and by the next evening I had finished both Catching Fire and Mockingjay. So that is like the second two books are just the same as the first one in how fast paced they are and how unput-downable they are. There were a whole bunch of people saying that like the Hunger Games was the new Twilight and it was just a craze, but these books are so much better than Twilight, and I can say that because I've read all the Twilight books. The big obvious thing that the Hunger Games has that Twilight doesn't is definitely depth. Twilight is a very shallow story. It's basically a kind of romance. With the Hunger Games, yes, there's a little bit of romance in there, but mainly the story is about this great imbalance in power, with the capital having all the power, all the wealth, all the food, all the everything, and the districts being so suppressed by the capital, and how this is just fundamentally not right at all. But the thing that really makes it so deep is that essentially we, with the lives that we're living today, are like the people of the capital. Yes, we might not have the most money, but we have enough money. We have enough money to have things that we don't need. So the trilogy definitely raises questions about that are really interesting to think about. It's not just a story, it kind of goes beyond that. And also, as a final point, I'd like to mention the covers. I bought these in America, so I've got the American hardback covers, which I really, really love. But that does mean that there are Americanisms in there that are a bit annoying at first, but then you get used to them, and then you start saying pants in everyday life when you mean trousers, and that can get a bit iffy. But I've heard a few people complaining about the new covers in England, the new paperback covers. They are black and the Hunger Games has the Mockingjay symbol on in like gold yellow sort of thing, and the others have similar designs on in like red and blue, in that order, I think. And I've heard so many people say that they're rubbish and you should not get those covers, you should get the original covers because they are so much better. But I really like those covers. I genuinely do love those covers. And if I hadn't seen these ones in Target for, I think, just less than $30, I would have probably bought those new covers. And so in conclusion, all I can say is you have to read these books. Whether you've seen the movie or not, you really need to read them. They're just, the story is really good, in itself, but the questions that it raises and the morals behind it make it even more interesting. And if you choose to ignore them, like I said, the story is still an amazing story in itself. So that's that, and this is a really awkward ending. Read The Hunger Games. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I can't get any lower than that. Bye.